So, in Viveka Chudamani, after a long period of time, we are actually seeing Viveka Chudamani. We have been positively distracted with some other things. It's nice, we have to learn what is bhakti. So those things are nice distractions. So we are coming back to Viveka Chudamani. In Viveka Chudamani, we are talking about Manam. Manomaya kosha. There are pancha koshas are there. Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and anandamaya kosha. These are 5 koshas, 5 sheets that apparently cover the Atman, and we have to understand that Atman is nothing. Atma is not these Panchamaya Kosha. Panchamaya Koshas are not Atma. Atma Tattvam is something which operates through these Pancha Koshas. Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. Atma is not either one of these things, or Atma is not a collection of these koshas, but Atma is something superior to these koshas. Atma operates through these koshas. We have to understand that. And we also have to connect it with Sharira Trayam. Previously, we have seen Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, and Karana Shariram. We saw those things as Sharira Trayam. In the same way, the Annamaya Kosha is going to be the Sthula Shariram. And the other 3 koshas, that is Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, and Vijnanamaya Kosha, are going to be the Sukshma Shariram, and Anandamaya Kosha is the Karana Shariram. We have to understand those things as well. So, of these Pancha Koshas, Acharya has already spoken about Annamaya Kosha and Pranamaya Kosha. Acharya has previously spoken about Annamaya and Pranamaya, and Acharya has negated Annamaya and Pranamaya as Atman. Now it is Manomaya Kosha stuff. Acharya is going to spend a lot of shlokas in Manomaya Kosha. Why? We will understand in a moment. Once he starts discussing about Manomaya Kosha, we will understand why Manomaya Kosha is very, very important, and why it is very important to negate the Manomaya Kosha, and why it is very, very, very important to have a pure mind. All those things Acharya is going to say in these shlokas. Now, let us see the definition of Manomaya Kosha. Jnanendriyani cha manascha manomaya syat kosho mamahamiti vastu vikalpa hetuhu. Jnanendriyani cha manascha manomaya syat kosho mama aham iti vastu vikalpa hetuhu. The manomaya kosha comprises of our pancha jnanendriyas, organs of perception. What are sense organs? These are called as jnanendriyas. The manomaya kosha comprises of the organs of perception, the sense organs, and the manas. Manas is an organ. Manomaya kosha, it is a sheath that comprises of our manas and the sense organs. Jnanendriyani cha manascha manomaya syat koshaha. What does manomaya kosha do? Mama aham iti vastu vikalpa hetuhu. Manomaya kosha is that thing that is responsible for our feelings like I and mine. Mama means mine. Aham means I. We feel I am here, I am not here, I don't like this, I like this. All the things that give pleasure are going to be mine. All the things that are not going to give me pleasure, they are not mine. So the sense of I-ness and the sense of mineness, ahankaram and mamakaram, manomaya kosha, it is responsible for it. It is the one that creates I sense, I capital I sense and my sense, vastu vikalpa hetu. And also sanyata bheda kalana kalito baliya statpurva kosho abhipurya vijrumbhate. And this is balina, this is a very strong kosha, and it is the one that pervades. Kosham abhipurya vijrumbhate. You know, all the later koshas, they are going to pervade the previous koshas. Pranamaya kosha pervades Annamaya kosha. Manomaya kosha pervades Pranamaya and Annamaya. Vijnanamaya kosha, it is going to pervade Manomaya, Pranamaya and Annamaya. Anandamaya kosha is going to pervade all the other kosha. So this is going to be the definition of Manomaya kosha. Jnanendriyanecha manaha. This is the definition. And what is the role of Manomaya kosha? Sanya koshaha mama aham iti vastu vikalpa hetu. That is going to be the function of Manomaya kosha. And Acharya says, you know, he extends the function of Manomaya kosha. Panchendriyai panchabhireva hotrubhihi prachiyamano vishayajya dharaya jajvalyamano bahuvasanendhanaihi manomayagnir prapancham. We have seen this before, you know, without the shloka. Now this is the shloka that tells this. Manomaya kosha, it is going to be a fire. Panchendriyaihi panchabhireva hotrubhihi prachiyamano vishayajya dharaya jajvalyamano bahuvasanendhanaihi manomayagnir dahati prapancham. Manomaya agnihi prapancham dahati. You know, the Manomaya kosha, it is compared to a fire. And if there is a fire, there is going to be a person that is going to say swaha and offer some ghee, right? Who are the people that are going to say swaha and offer the ghee? They are going to be panchendriyaihi panchabhireva hotrubhihi. Hota in Sanskritam, hota means, you know, the priest, the sacrificial priest, the priest who is doing the sacrifice. The Vadhyar, who is the Yajaman, who is doing the Yajnam, is called as Hota. Homam is the actual fire. Hota is the person who does Homam. Hota is the person who performs the Homam. And who are the Hotas here? The Panchabhireva, Panchendriyaihi, Panchabhireva Hotrubhihi. The 5 organs of perception. 5 sense organs are the 5 hotas. Chakshu, eyes, nose, ears, skins and tongue. What is going to be the ajyam? Ajyam means ghee. What is going to be the ghee? What is going to be the offering? The offering is going to be the sense pleasures that comes through the sense organs. The offering of eye is going to be the vision. The offering of nose is going to be the smell. Offering of ears going to be the sound. Offering of skin going to be the sense feeling. Offering of tongue is going to be the taste. These 5 sense organs offer its sense pleasures to the Agni of Manaha, says Acharya. And only this Manomaya kosha is going to be the cause of samsara. We had Annamaya kosha, we had Pranamaya kosha. If we remember, in neither Annamaya kosha nor Pranamaya kosha Acharya said they are the cause, they are the root cause of samsara. He only explained that, and then he said that Annamaya Kosha is not you, Pranamaya Kosha is not you. But here, Acharya is explaining the Manomaya Kosha as the root cause for samsara, and he is going to prove that. Let us see how he is going to do that. Nahyastya vidya manasotirikta manohya vidya bhavabandha hetuhu tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam vijrumbhitesmin sakalam vijrumbhate nahi asti avidya manasaha atirikta mano hi avidya bhavabandha hetuhu tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam. If mind is not there, or apart from the mind, there is no avidya. Avidya, ignorance, we have previously shown that ignorance is the root cause of samsara. What is the cause of samsara? Ignorance is the cause of samsara. And where does ignorance lie? Ignorance lie in our manas. Nahi asti avidya manasaha atirikta. Apart from the mind, avidya nahi asti. There is no avidya elsewhere. Only in our mind, avidya is present. Manohya vidya bhavabandha hetuhu. Only in our mind, avidya exists. Okay, if we say in your mind avidya exists, if you lose your mind, can you get moksha? So you are present in a room, and in that room there is going to be an object. That object is the cause of a bad smell in that room. Say you have some object in the room that causes very, very bad smell. If you want to remove the bad smell, what should you do? You have to remove the object from the room. If you remove the object from the room, then the bad smell from the room goes away. If we apply the same logic to our manas, here Acharya says, Nahyastya vidya manasoti rikta. If manas is the seat for ignorance, which is the cause of samsara. So normally what do we think? If we remove our manas, then samsara is going to be removed. Ignorance is going to be removed. If ignorance is removed, then that is moksha. If ignorance is removed, then samsara is removed. If the absence of ignorance, absence of samsara, we have previously defined that as moksha. So that is what normally we think, right? But here he says, Manohya vidya bhava bandha hetuhu. Manas is the bhava bandha hetuhu. Later, Acharya is going to say, here we have to remember manas is the root cause of samsara, but getting out of samsara, it is not going to be as simple as removing the manas, because later Acharya is going to say only with the manas you can remove avidya. That we will see later. Manohya vidya bhava bandha hetuhu. Tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam. If we remove our manas, everything is going to go away. Vijrumbhitesmin sakalam vijrumbhate. So we have to take this third line. The third line says tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam. If we remove manas, everything is going to go away. But later Acharya is going to come and say, hey, removing manas is not as same as removing that foul smelling object in that room. Removing that foul smelling object is very, very simple. You don't have to deal with it. But manas is not going to be like that. So do not mistake it. He is going to say probably 3 or 4 shlokas later. I'm just saying it now. Tasmin vinashte sakalam vinashtam vijrumbhitesmin sakalam vijrumbate. Okay. Now we have to prove that avidya or manas is the root cause of samsara. How are we going to prove? Here, Acharya uses a logic called as Anyonya Vyatirikta Nyayam. Anyonya Vyatirikta method. What is that method? Let us try to simplify that method with a simple example. Let us take gulab jamun. We all have eaten gulab jamun. What gives sweetness to the gulab jamun if somebody asks? If somebody asks you, what gives sweetness to gulab jamun, and can you prove it? Can you prove it in a foolproof manner? Somebody asks you, then this is how we normally prove. We know that sugar is the thing that gives sweetness to gulab jamun. What do we do if we want to prove to someone that sugar is the reason for sweetness in the gulab jamun? We have to make two types of gulab jamun. One with sugar and another thing, another batch without sugar. We have to ask that person to eat both the gulab jamuns, and if that person eats the gulab jamun with the sugar, sweetness is there. If he eats the gulab jamun without sugar, sweetness is not there, then sugar is the cause. Sugar is the reason for the sweetness in gulab jamun. That is how we have to scientifically prove. This is a very scientifically valid method of proving causality in an object. A is the cause of B. If A is there, B is going to be there. If A is not there, B is not going to be there. Fire is the cause of heatness. If fire is there, then I feel hot. If fire is not there, I don't feel hot. So this is how you normally prove. And this nyaya is called as Anyonya Vyathirikta nyaya. So if sugar is present, sweetness is present. If sugar is absent, sweetness is absent in case of gulab jamun. Therefore, we conclude that sugar gives sweetness to gulab jamun. In the same way, now we are going to prove that manas, mind, is the reason for samsara. He is going to prove that in next two shlokas, but this is how he is going to prove. He is going to say that if mind is present, samsara is present. Just like how if sugar is present, sweetness is present, he is going to show that if mind is present, samsara is present, and if mind is absent, samsara is also going to be absent. Just like how if sugar is present, sweetness is present. If sugar is absent, sweetness is also absent. Therefore, sugar is the root cause of sweetness in gulab jamun. In the same way, if mind is present, samsara is present. If mind is absent, samsara is also absent. Therefore, we can prove that mind is the reason for samsara. That is going to be the proof here. This is called as Anyonya Vyatirikta method. Mind bhave, mind sattve, mano sattve, samsara sattvaha. Manas sattve, samsara sattvaha. Manaha abhave, samsara abhavaha. Manas sattve, if mind is present, samsara is present. Samsara sattvaha. Sattva means present here. Mana abhave. Mano abhave. If mind is absent, then samsaraha api abhave. Samsaraha also is absent. That is why manayeva samsara karanam. Mind is the reason, root cause for samsara. Sugar sattve, sweetness sattvaha. If sugar is present, sweetness is present. Sugar abhave, sweetness also abhavaha. If sugar is absent, abhavaha means absent. If sugar is absent, sweetness is also absent. Therefore, sugar eva sweetness karanam. Therefore, only sugar is responsible for sweetness in gulab jamun. How he is going to prove? He is going to say, Swapnertha shunye srujati swasatya bhokta bhoktradi vishvam manayeva sarvam. Swapnertha shunye srujati swasatya भोक्त्रादि विश्वं मन एव सर्वं तथैव जाग्रत्यपि नो विशेषः तत्सर्वमेतन्मनसो विजृम्भणम्. There are three states of our experience. One is going to be waking up state, another is going to be dream state, another is going to be deep sleep state. Of the three states, in the first two states, in our waking up state and in our dream state, we have our mind. We all are hopefully waking up. Hopefully, you guys are listening to Viveka Chudamani class. The Viveka Chudamani class will go inside to you only if your mind is in the class. If your mind is not in the class, then you might be hearing the class, but none of the class gets into your mind, right? So if your mind, if you are consciously attending, it means what? Your mind is present. Whatever we do in our waking up state, our mind is going to back up. Without our mind, we cannot say we are we are active. We are not in the wake up state. So during our jagrat, during our waking up state, we don't have any problem in accepting mind is present. So mind is present in waking up state. Shastra says even in your dream state, your mind is active. Your physical body might not be active. Your hands might not be active. Your eyes might not be active. But your mind is going to be active when you are sleeping. How? Because it is our mind which is being projected in our dream. Whatever the experiences that we have got in our waking up state, all those experiences are stored in your mind as vasanas. Whatever experiences that I see, that I experience in my wake up state, only those experiences are going to be stored in my mind as vasanas, and I only see those experiences in our dream. Even scientists say you can never see a new face in your dream. If you see a face in your dream, it means that you have already seen that face before. You can never see a new face in your dream because your mind during the waking up state, your mind is like video cassette recorder. Previously we used to have VCR and VCP, video cassette recorder and video cassette player, right? During our Jagrada Avastha, our mind is like that recorder, which records all the experiences that we have in our waking up state. And in our dream state, our mind becomes a video cassette player. It does not record any new information in our dream, but it is going to replay whatever that has been recorded in our waking up state. So, in our waking up state, Jagrada Avastha, and in our dream state, Swapna Avastha, our mind is active. Swapnertha sunye srujati swashaktya bhoktradi vishwam manayeva sarvam तथैव जाग्रत्यपिनो विशेषः तत्सर्वं एतत् मनसो विजृम्भणम्. And where do we have samsara? We have samsara in our wake up state. We have samsara in our dream state as well. What do you mean by samsara? Samsara means avidya. You confine yourself with your body. You think that you are that body. That is samsara. In our waking up state, there is absolutely no question about that. You are your body. All the things that are surrounding you are different from you. I have a very distinct ahankara. I have a very distinct mamakara. I have a very distinct I sense, and I have a very distinct mind sense during the wake up state. What happens in our dream state? If we see in our dream state, all the objects in our dream, even though all the objects in our dream are created from my own mind. If I'm being chased by a tiger in my dream, that dream tiger, it is also created by my own mind. And my dream body, it is also created by my own mind. So both the dream tiger and my dream body are one and the same. It is only my mind vikara. But even though that is the case, in my dream, I have a very distinct I-ness. I have a very distinct ahankara and mamakara. I think that my dream body is my body and the dream tiger is chasing me. I have to run away from the tiger, and then we run away from the dream tiger. So in both our Jagrada Avastha and Swapna Avastha, mind is present and samsara is also present. So mind abhave, mind bhave, mind sattve, samsara sattvaha. Sugar sattve, sweetness sattvaha. If sugar is there, sweetness is there. If my mind is there, samsara is there. Now we have to do the next thing. If sugar is absent, sweetness is absent, we have to show. In the same way, if mind is absent, samsara is absent, we have to show. That is what Acharya is doing the next shloka. Sushuptikale manasi praline naivasti kinchit sakala prasiddhe. During our deep sleep state, what happens? Our mind is absent. Our mind goes back to being in potential form. Manasi praline. Our mind, which is the Sukshma Sharira, gets dissolved into the Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira, causal body. So, during the deep sleep state, where we don't even do any dreaming, our mind is as though it is absent. Our mind is not completely absent, but as though our mind is absent. And what happens in our deep sleep state? In our deep sleep state, we don't even have an iota of ahankara and mamakara. Everything is same for us. There is no distinction between I and another person that is sleeping next to me. There is no distinction between my body and his body. I think my body is superior, his body is inferior. My eyes are beautiful, his eyes are not beautiful. My sons are successful, his sons are not successful. I am poor, he is very rich. No such distinction exists in our deep sleep state, where mind is as good as absent. So, mind sattve. If mind is present, samsara is present. If mind is absent, mano abhave, samsara abhavaha. Therefore, mind is the reason for samsara. Ato manah kalpita eva pumsaha samsara etasya na vastutaha asti. Therefore, samsara, it is a product of our mind. It is just a product of our mind. Apart from mind, samsara itself does not exist. We thought that we are thinking we are in this samsara. Samsara is very, very real. We have to get out of samsara. That is what we are thinking. But here Acharya says, apart from your mind, there is no vastutaha as samsara. Vastutaha, there is no object called samsara exists apart from your mind. Sushupti kale manasi praline naivasti kinchit sakala prasiddhehe. Sakala prasiddhehe. Everybody knows that in our dream sleep state, there is no, mind does not exist, and we also have no ahankara and mamakara. Therefore, ato manahkalpita eva pumsaha samsara. Samsara, it is just manahkalpita. Samsara, it is just a fiction of our imagination. It is just a fragment of our imagination. Etasya na vastutosti. Vastutaha etasya na asti. Vastutaha samsara nasti. Samsara does not exist in reality, but it is only a figment of your mind. Okay, now we come to our original example of a foul smelling object in the room. Can I just remove my mind? Can I be in my deep sleep state all the time? Previously we told that in your deep sleep state, manas is not there, mind is not there, therefore samsara is also not there. So if you want moksha, one option is going to be what? One option for moksha, it is going to be always deep sleep state. But is it possible? It is not possible. We are waking up, even whether we like it or not, we are going to wake up. Whether we like it or not, our mind is going to be active. So we have to use our mind to get out of samsara, even though mind is the reason for samsara. Is that possible? Acharya says in 172nd shloka, Vayuna niyate megha punasthenaiva niyate manasa kalpyate bandhaha mokshasthenaiva kalpyate. He says, just like how wind, Vayu means wind, just like how wind is the cause for, grouping of our clouds. There are a lot of places where today heavy rain is there, wind is there, storm is coming. Wind is the reason because of which two clouds are coming together. It is going to give you rain. But it is the same wind which is going to disperse all the clouds as well. Just like how wind can also bring together clouds and wind can also disperse the clouds. Vayuna niyate megha. Megha, cloud. Vayuna, because of winds. Winds can lead the clouds into one portion, into one place. In the wind can also disperse the clouds. Punaha tenaiva niyate. Wind can also disperse the clouds. In the same way, manasa kalpyate bandhaha, mokshaha tenaiva kalpyate. In the same way, our mind is the cause for the bandha. Bandha means samsara. Our mind is the root cause for the samsara, but only with your mind can the samsara be dispelled with. Manasa kalpyate bandhaha, mokshaha tenaiva kalpyate. How to remove samsara having your mind? இதுக்கு பேர் தான் முள்ளாலேயே முள் எடுக்கிறதுங்கிறது. காலில் முள்ளு குத்திருச்சுன்னா, in India, if you walk without any slippers, you will have there will be many thorns. Your feet is going to be hurt. A thorn is going to get inserted into your feet. What do you do if you want to remove the thorn? Just break another thorn and then cut open your feet and remove the thorn that has pierced your feet. Mulla தான் எடுக்கிறதும்பா இல்லையா? In the same way, சம்சாரத்தை மனதினாலேயே சம்சாரத்தை ரிமூவ் பண்றது. எப்படி? How to remove samsara with the same mind? He is also giving you the answer. This is very, very important portion. He says, Dehadi sarva vishaye parikalpya ragam bhadrati tena purusham pashuvad gunena vairasya matra vishavat suvidhaya paschat yenam vimochayati tanmana eva bandhat. He says, hey, your mind is what creates ragam in you. Ragam means desires. When you have desire, in Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibramaha Smritibramshat buddhinashaha buddhinashat pranashyati. Kamaha, desire. I want something. That is my desire. And what does this desire do? If somebody comes in between me and my desired object, I am going to be angry at them. Kamat sanjayate krodaha. Krodad bhavati sammohaha. When I am angry, I become deluded. Kannu munnu theriyama kovapadrathu, I will lose myself. Krodad bhavati sammohaha. Sammohat smriti vibramaha. When I become deluded, then I would have forgotten all the ethics that have been told to me. Ethics, we have some code of conduct, moral code of conduct, everything is there. I'm going to forget all those things. Smriti bramshad buddhi nashaha. If all those things are not coming to me at the right time, then buddhi nasha happens. Krishna says buddhi nashaha is as equal to committing suicide. Buddhi nashaha is as equal to dying, Arjuna. Buddhinashat pranashyati. So kamaha, ragam is the root cause for samsara. That is why Lalita Parameshwari has a ragam in her hand. Ragaswarupa pashadhya krodhaka arangushojvala. Raga and Krodha, she is not letting out. She is not letting them out to dominate her, but she is having Kama and Krodha கைக்குள்ளேயே வச்சுட்டு இருந்தா நம்மளும் அம்பாள் லெவலுக்கு ஆயிடலாம். We saw that in our Lalita Sahasranam explanations. That is what here Acharya says. Dehadi sarva vishaye parikalpya ragam bhadrati tena purusham pashuvad gunena. The mind itself, it is going to create a ragam in you. It is going to create kama in you. It is going to create desires in you. And because of that desires, you are going to be bonded. You are going to be in samsara. And the same mind itself, vairasya matra vishavat suvidhaya paschat yenam vimochayati tanmana eva bandhat. We all are here because our mind. Because of our mind, we can think clearly, and we thought that Viveka Chudamani, it is going to help us out of samsara, and we are actively using our mind in learning Viveka Chudamani. We are actively using our mind to understand the concepts of Viveka Chudamani. We are actively using our mind to apply the concepts that we have learnt in Viveka Chudamani in our day-to-day life. So even our mind is useful for that as well. The same mind which can create a ragam for other things, the same mind can also create a ruchi for attending Vedanta class. The same mind can also create a ruchi for doing Bhagavan Nama Sankirtanam. So, mind is like that sharp knife. You can use that to cut vegetables, to feed others. You can also use that to harm others. Using knife to harm others is like mind creating samsara. Using knife to cut vegetables and feed others is like using our mind to attend Vedanta class and then get moksha. Our mind has to be in our hands. Just like how we have to use our knife very, very properly. That is what Acharya is going to say in later shlokas. Hey, Manaeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandha Mokshayoho. Only our mind is responsible for Bandha and Moksha Karanam. Moksha Karanam is also mind. Manayeva Moksha Karanam also. Manayeva Bandha Karanam also. We have to be very, very responsible in using our mind. Acharya is going to say, we will finish with this shloka. Dehadi sarva vishaye parikalpya ragam bhadrati tena purusham pashuvad gunena vairasya matra vishavat suvidhaya paschat yenam vimochayati tan mana eva bandhat. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.